This is Tom Myers, Superintendent, Bellevue Community School District in Bellevue, Iowa, coming to you with this week's Believe in the Blue update. Some notes from our board meeting on Monday evening, along with just some other general notes of upcoming events, things that have happened, and some other just general stuff like that. Want to let people know we do have state track participants out there in Des Moines this week, actually starting today. Cameron Ray starts off for the Bellevue Comets in the 3,000 meter run. She will also be running the 1,500 meter run between today, Friday, and Saturday. Also on the girls' side, Rebecca Schrader is in the high jump, and Shayla Oster is in the discus that way. In the boys' area, we have some relays going. The 4x800 relay of Alex Reed, Andrew Peniston, Kyle Gunther, and Caleb Kress is out there. The 4x400 meter relay with Caleb Kress, Conrad Ernst, Andrew Peniston, and Hunter Clausen. And then the 4x100 relay with Hunter Clausen, Logan Manders, Trey Doherty, and Conrad Ernst is out there as well. And then some individuals, Jack Sieverding and Brady Grable are running in the 3,200, Caleb Kress in the Open 800, and Alex Reed in the Open 1,600 that way. Coaches for the girls, Judy Mickles, head coach for the boys, Rick Kozel. Some assistants serving both sides there are Jeff Oster, Michael Steinis, Scott Jess, and then Paul Gamlin. So I want to thank all of them for all they have contributed to our kids as well. And best of luck to our students out there. I believe we should do very well. Have some had some very good times in district and moving on from there. But looking at some comment highlights here, just a brief overview of our meeting we had on Monday evening, actually before the 6 through 12 vocal concert that way. We approved some open enrollments, approved some resignations. Big ones, we also approved some summer hires that way. We have Bud Schrader there for middle school softball coach. Trisha Pickett will be another assistant high school softball coach based on some numbers, mainly working with our freshmen and freshman games. We also hired some summer help, Peter Kilberg, Tammy Kilberg, and Trevor Hager. We had a great presentation by the preschool talking about Handwriting Without Tears by Sam Van Gorp, Alicia Reese. They did an outstanding job at explaining how that works, and if you're ever interested, let me know or contact Elementary. They could tell you more that way. I did recognize our board members, Kevin Lundeen, Janet Sieverding, Mike Reed, Allison Boniface, and Martha Montgomery Henning for their service to the school board. It's a non-paid position. They put in their time to come to a meeting once a month, but that's only part of it. They keep updated from notes I give them and from conversations they have with all of you in the community about what is going on. So I want to thank them very much for all of their efforts in making the Bellevue Community School District the best that it can possibly be in our continual pursuit of excellence in everything we do. Had a little facilities update that way. We're working on the elementary. Actually had a meeting with the architects on Tuesday evening and just talking about the upcoming phases of the building. We did approve a petition for up to $16 million. That does not mean it will be $16 million, but that is a number that we're using right now. It cannot go over that. So we do have a petition that was approved by the board to move forward with that. Some things with that. Once the petition gets the amount of signatures it needs right around 50 signatures. Once it gets that many, and we'll get more than that, I would hope. I'm not collecting those. School board members are not collecting those. It's a community group. The Bellevue Votes Yes group, as they're going to term themselves, is going to collect that. I don't think that's an official group yet, but there's some volunteers in the community doing that. Once they get those signatures, they will bring it back to the school board, actually to the board secretary, give it to the board president. There will be a meeting called, and then at that time, we will look to move forward. If we approve the petition, we will look to put it on the ballots in either September, December, or some other time like that. So some information for you that way. So petition here, we did approve the Ehlers Cooney law firm to help with the bond counsel. Graduating class of 2018 was approved. Those people will be on the website here after this is posted, or maybe before this is actually available to all of you. So it should be there when you're watching this that way. Did talk about graduation and dropout rate. Our numbers are still well above the state average in both of those that way in a positive way. We have a higher graduation rate than the state. Our graduation rate was just about 94%, which was actually one of the lowest we've had in several years that way. Some personal situations came into play with some of the families there. Our dropout rate is still well below the state average. Our dropout rate is 0.31%, and the state average for dropout rate is 2.8%. Ultimately, as I told the board, our goal here and what we need to really emphasize and what I'm going to stress even more and more is you need a high school diploma. We're going to get you a high school diploma if you're willing to work at all to achieve that way. We We believe that success in society is a minimum of a high school diploma at this age, and we have to go well beyond that as well. But we have to give them the minimal that they need to move on to get more. You have to have a high school diploma, and we need to emphasize that to our kids. We have, and we'll continue to do that. The board also approved the Beyond the Blue recipients that way. They are Tim Roth, Albert Bud Kinake, Gerald Jackson, and Dawn Deppy. And we have a gathering for them next Friday evening, Friday, May 25th, at the River Art Gallery that way in town, right next to River Ridge Brewery. We will have a social from 5:30 to 6:30, along with some appetizers from Flatted Fifth, and then we will, or hors d'oeuvres from Flatted Fifth, and then we will move on with that to a program at 6:30. We had it last year for the first time, so it's our second group inducting in. And I just want to tell you right now, this is a great group once again. I will share more about them at a later time, but you'll be able to find some things on the website about that also. Also talked about a career in technical education. That in our case is agriculture, business, family consumer science, and industrial technology. Some things with the regional planning center in the area to get college credits, more college credits than they're actually getting right now, but just in general that way. We also approved the principal contracts the other night for Mrs. Hartung Schrader at the elementary and Mr. Jeff Raker at the middle school, high school. Also looked at fees for the school year as a whole. We made some slight increases to some fees that way, and we're still below the average around this area by far. In fact, we're still one of the lowest around in many ways, just like we are with tax rates, but we make it work. And just so you kind of have an idea too, last year we brought in instructional materials fees about $23,000, something like that. Our cost in just buying textbooks was around $67,000. So we were negative $44,000 off the bat that way. We're getting some new Spanish books this upcoming year. Actually, a new math book also for algebra. So we're continually updating things along with computers. Computer fees are going up $5. That way, our other instructional fees are going up $5 for 9 through 12. It's $55, 6 through 8, $50, 3 through 5, $45, and K through 2, $40. There's some other things in there too, but just to let you know that we did keep the milk price the same, the second dish or the second entree the same. Along with the breakfast price, the same, that we have a good turnout for breakfast. Let's talk about volunteers and how do we screen volunteers. Not that we've had issues here, but just looking to make sure that we don't have issues in the future, hopefully. So we're reviewing some policies on that. We'll review a lot of policies in the upcoming weeks. In the summertime, we do a lot of policy work that way. The board also approved for River City Paving to pave sections of the middle school, high school parking lot that need it desperately. We had one section done about 4 years ago. The other section we're going to hold off a year or two. Actually, we made it last about 4 years. So positive that way, but we need to do some work there, and that was for $105,000 actually. We're working on the shower room in the middle school locker room. That is nearing completion. We have an estimate of that was going to be about $60,000, actually a little over $60,000, and we're going to accomplish that between $15,000 and $20,000 to make it more private for our students. And also a big part of that was an equity issue with accessibility, and we needed to correct that. We're also going to be working in the middle school girls locker room. It's one of the things we have to do to stay in compliance, and also it's the best thing to do. And that locker room has been like that since it was built in the 1960s or 70s, so it needed some updates along those lines. Well, I will have my evaluation as superintendent in the June meeting. Some other information items, and these will be online. Just some legislative updates, things like that. That way, supplemental state aid was 1.1%, or just talk about some different things. The SAVE did not go through the extension of the 1-cent tax for for buildings and for just general needs of the district to update rooms like locker rooms. That did not go through. We're making it work the way it is. It's continuing that way. They're just looking to have it continue beyond the 2029 when it runs out. We'll see where we're at in a little while that way, but it did not pass this year. Graduation, I mentioned graduation. I don't know if I gave the date. That is May 26th. Encourage you to come out to that. It's at 8 o'clock p.m., and that's a Saturday night. The music department, we're going to be buying some instruments and some stands for them as well. Marching percussion specifically for an instrument this year, along with some stands. And then we're also going to be advertising for a 0.25 or 1/4 time 3-year-old preschool teacher based on numbers, based on enrollment. That will be an additional morning section to our 3-year-old preschool, which is great for our parents and specifically for our kids and their learning. A couple things here. I think you've seen this book here already. Get it in the screen. The Innovator's Mindset. It talks about engagement. If you know me at all, you've heard me talk about engagement, how important engagement is. Well, this makes me think about it a little differently, even that way. Engaging students means getting kids excited about our content, interests, and curricula. Empowering students means giving kids the knowledge and skills to pursue their passions, interests, and future. Uh, this does not mean that empowerment happens instead of engagement. You know, you have to be engaged in learning, I believe. In fact, people do not feel truly empowered unless they are engaged in their learning. The next step of this is, but if the engagement is the ceiling, if all we want them to do is just be engaged a little bit and act like they're learning, we're missing the point. Think about it. Would you rather hear about changing the world, or do you want the opportunity to do so and actually go out and change the world or change some things? It's time for us to empower our students. A story about a world changer might engage us, but becoming world changers will change us. We want to be inspiring students to do more. And one other part here, empowering students to succeed in school and life means that we pay attention to the skills companies are seeking. What is needed beyond this building, beyond the classroom? What do our students need to be successful in life? I want to give you an update on some other things happening here. I talked about the Beyond the Blue social gathering on May 25th at the River Ridge Gallery. We have awards program May 23rd, and that's at 6:30 p.m. in the West Gym. May 26th is graduation. May 29th is preschool graduation at the Bellevue Elementary. Last day of school for students is May 31st. Last day of school for teachers officially is June 1st, although some will be in June 4th. Then school next year, the 2018-19 school year, will start on August 23rd that way. As far as a potential bond issue happening, that could be happening in September, it could be happening in December, or some other date. There's only certain dates we can have it that way, but want to let everyone know about that, and I will keep you updated throughout the rest of this year and obviously into the summer and beyond. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the weather. It's a great day out there. Believe in the blue.